Are you posting tons of content, that is, posts on social media, and yet not getting the response that you want? Perhaps you're posting daily to Instagram, and yet you're just getting a couple of likes for each photo. Or maybe go to the extent of creating a video, yet viewership drops off rather quickly. You're having a problem with engagement, as social media managers like to say. Engagement is likes, shares, comments, and views on a post. And the number one culprit for our problems with engagement might not be what you think it is. It might not have to do with how interesting the topic is or how attractive the photo. It might be something more basic than that. Your post is not being seen. There's so much competition in the news feed that your post is not being served up to the news feed. The fix for this is rather simple. You need to increase your reach. Reach is the number of users that see your post. So what I'm going to talk about today is one, where you can find the reach for each post on your business page or your business profile. And then I'm going to talk about how to fix your reach specifically. And yes, I'm going to go through the most effective way to boost a post, because I know that people have tried boosting before and it didn't work. But when I talked to those people in person, I found that their methodology could have been better. So, and then third, as a bonus, I'm going to go ahead and suggest how often it would be good to post on different platforms, your Facebook page, and your Instagram. All right, so if you're not already on the longer video, head over to the link. Otherwise, stay put and I will share those insights with you. Here we are on a Facebook page and we're on a post. To see reach on a Facebook page, all you need to do is go to a post, scroll down, look below the row that says likes, comments, shares, and you will see reach. So this is 3,934 people reached. There you go. And then there's an orange bar to show that Facebook thinks you have done a lot of reach. So that's one. That's how to see reach on a Facebook business page. You don't have access to this information on a personal profile. Facebook won't show it to you. So that's just another reason to have a business page versus use a personal profile on Facebook. Similarly, on an Instagram page, you go down to a post, and though reach is not shown directly below the heart, comment, share row, all you need to do is punch the blue words View Insights and then pull up the tab, and there you will see reach. So if you look on the right of the screen, you'll see it says 59 reach, and that's how you know how many people saw your post. The next thing we'll be going over is the boost or promote button so that you can get more reach on your posts. I just want to do a quick little pep talk first, because when I've done in-person presentations, people have said to me that the boost didn't work for them, and et cetera, et cetera. So I want to say again that this has to do with how you structure the boost. So we're going to go into that now. So even if you're an experienced Facebook marketer, Instagram marketer, you might want to watch this just so you get the structure in mind as to like how many people to promote to, at what price, and how many days. So we'll go through that right now. This is how to do the boost on Facebook. Here we are back on a post, and then all we need to do is click the big blue button, Boost Post, okay? And then it's going to ask you if you're in a special ad category. This is regulated, so there's some requirements you have to meet. If you're under any of these ad categories, you need to flip that switch, and then it will require you to check those. This is not in any of those categories. And then you need to select an audience. So one of the benefits of doing a boost or doing paid ads is that your strategy becomes a lot less random. Now you're focusing on talking to a specific group of people that are likely to be potential customers. So that's who I suggest that you target. You know, don't necessarily need to target fans who already are probably going to see your things, but pick a large audience in the thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. So target those. I would tend to do, it used to be something like about 60,000 for something like 15 bucks. I wouldn't go lower than $5 a day. Usually it's like her local businesses like Radius and an Interest. And then here's a slider for a Facebook page on mobile. And then you just adjust the budget. So I was saying like $5 a day minimum, $5. This, see down here it says duration. We could take that down to 1 day. The best thing to do is really to do 2 or 3 days. So say we're just doing something simple. This would be a small audience we're reaching. And then you just flip this switch if you want to run this. If you want to send this Facebook post over to Instagram, if you're going to create the post on Instagram, it's better to promote it from Instagram, okay? And then you fill out your payment information and do Boost Post Now. Here on Instagram, the process is very similar. You click the big blue button, Promote. It'll ask you where to send people right at the start, and I'm going to put my business profile versus a website. This could be my website, it could be YouTube, or messages. In the upper hand corner, I click Next. There's that special requirement section again, which doesn't apply. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and see, it has different options. I've created different audiences in the past, so that's why they're sitting there. I suggest you create your own audience. Sometimes if you want to try automatic, that can be neat because the algorithm's pretty smart. So create your audience, make sure it's something, you know, thousands or tens of thousands large or hundreds of thousands even. This is where you would adjust the budget and the number of days. And there's even an estimate of reach. I believe there's an estimate of reach over on Facebook. I just didn't notice it this time around. And this is very soft, okay, because there's privacy regulations. So, you know, but then this is a big range. So the range is just an indicator. And then finally, you can go ahead and put in your information and create the boost and create promotion. That's it. Next thing we're going to cover is how often to post to each platform, whether it's your Facebook page, a Facebook group, or an Instagram business profile. So I suggest for your Facebook page, because it doesn't get any reach, because very few users see it, the real purpose behind posting there is just to let others know that your business is alive and well. So I would just post there once or twice a week. The only people that are going to see that are your super fans. If you post, say, like more than that, the only reason to post more than that is that you are putting money behind your posts, which is good, can be good. So the only thing I want you to keep in mind is that in order to get the most out of your boost or your promote, make sure that this ties into a larger strategy, that your post is the start of a journey. And be sure to include in it a call to action, either so that people then can follow you to your group, or you can suggest a service. But in order to get the most out of your post, even if you're just going for awareness, be sure to have some kind of follow-up, some kind of call to action. For the Facebook group, it's almost like a different set of rules apply. So a couple of years ago, Facebook had come out and said that it was not going to put Facebook pages in the newsfeed unless businesses paid for that. So they literally announced that there wasn't going to be as much reach. And at the same time, they said at the last in-person annual conference last year that they loved groups and that they were going to be doing more with groups. So in essence, what they were saying is that our algorithm, our calculation for what goes in the newsfeed, thumbs down on the page and thumbs up on the group. Okay, so what this means is that for the group, in general, the reach is still good. And if you want to increase your reach, sort of all the old rules apply, and you just need to post more, make it interesting, make it attractive, and then because it's a group, you need to ask questions to try and stir a response. Okay, so, and then finally for the Instagram profile, very similar to what I said for the Facebook page, because it has declining reach. Sometimes people don't realize that Instagram is going to become just like Facebook because they're both owned by Facebook. So sort of pretty much the same rules apply, except that, of course, on Instagram, it's so nice that you have hashtags so that you can be found via hashtag. But again, this is somewhat of a random way to gain customers, right? You're just waiting for someone to search for that. Best course of action is still to promote your post, keeping in mind what I said earlier. Make sure you have a strategy around it so that you get the most out of it when you do promote. So that's a wrap on what is reach, how to increase your reach using Boost, how much to actually post on social media. And so I have to wrap with saying that a lot of Facebook ad managers don't like the boost button, and it's true that it is limited. So I think that it's a good place to start. So definitely it's better than not doing anything. So use the boost button, and when you're ready to take a step forward and do more with your posts, keep in mind that I have a consultation on how to use Facebook Ads Manager, and that is an even less intuitive tool, but what it gives you is a lot of control over your content, and it's much more powerful. So you can do amazing things like that you can't do with the boost, obviously, like retarget people who have interacted with you. That's a nice audience. Not someone that doesn't know you at all, but people who have already interacted with you. You can retarget people who have watched a certain amount of your videos. You can set up a series of actions so that you can get into a real conversation with someone in Messenger who could turn into a customer. So Facebook Ads Manager is a wonderful tool. All right. So here's looking at you, and we'll see you again soon.